guess we're going to talk about how to establish your client base. My company is Designs by Winborn. I make men's and women's clothes. I've been doing this for 20-odd years. And I know I look young, but I'm not. I'm old, okay? It's all right. The one thing I've learned in all of these years when it comes down to establishing your client base, when it comes down to the fashion industry, you have to know your value. Most people that come into this industry, they think, well, I'm coming in, so I'm going to lower my prices and what I feel like I'm worth. And people will buy you based off of what you think you're worth. So if you want to establish a client base, know what you're worth. When I first came into the game and started making clothes, I was so low. I look back at it now and I'm like, oh my God, I was giving stuff away. I couldn't possibly survive off of that. And it's the truth. You'll think, oh, I can't go that high. That's too high for somebody. But then somebody will buy that thing at right where you put it at. It's based off of you. It always has been. And if you think your skill needs to get up before, which it does, if you feel like you need to get your skill up, get your skill up and ask what you want to ask about what you want to sell to people. They will buy it. There's somebody out there. As the gentleman said, there's you've got all kinds of social media out here that helps you for free. For free?
Good price.
When I came in, you had to pay for everything. You guys have an option of selling, broadcasting, advertising, everything you want for free. If you want to increase your client base, first and foremost, price yourself where you feel your worth and be realistic. Your reality is your reality, and someone else will lock into it. If you believe it, they will believe it. You met me a few days ago. I talked to your models about the confidence. It's the same for us. What we do, if you come in and you seem unsure, people are going to seem unsure about buying your stuff. This guy, he operates at where he wants to because he feels he's worth that. Am I right? And it has worked for him. And it will work for you if you believe in what you're doing. And I wish I was sitting here giving you positive stuff. It's a reality. These bracelets that I wear, I started making them 5 years ago. And I was giving them away for like $20, and now they're like $300, $400 because I realized what I was investing into this, and the fact that you've got a person like David Yearman that asks $1,000 for stuff that doesn't even have a quarter of what I have in mind. But they feel like they're worth it, and when people see it, they will buy it. So if you think that people won't buy what you're doing at the price you really want to sell it at, you are undercutting yourself. I promise you are. Increase your client base by not only having your product be solid, but be good with people. And if you're not good with people, get somebody on your company that is. If you are not good with people, you will not flourish in this fashion world. It's emotionally based. Everything about this fashion world is pure emotion. But the people that are making money are people that are not emotional. They're good businessmen. So if you cannot deal with people well, get somebody who can and let them be that front person while you run things from behind the scenes. People will come back to you if you are good to them. I'm actually from Columbus, Ohio, and I have so many clients there and not there. And it's because I'm good to people. I go to the end of the earth to make sure that my client gets what they want. And if you want to talk about working, I'm up every single night. You can ask anyone who knows me, 4 o'clock in the morning. You want to know how you can know that? If I email you, I'm up working. And it'll be 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning. That's how important it is for me to be the best at what I do. Something else. This is very important. When we talked about social media, when you put your items out there, gotta be willing to take judgment. As soon as you place them in a public forum, you're asking for people's opinion. Don't be angry if they give you what they think. Utilize that. Don't get angry, oh, they don't like my stuff. Go back to the drawing board, do some things different. It'll work out for you. But if you take offense to everything that people say, some of those things you need to know. That's your client base. Those are people that are gonna buy your stuff. Are you only gonna sell to people that only tell you what you wanna hear? It's not a good idea. Utilize these public forums to find out where you are. And that'll help you get to where you need to be. Treat people right, they will come back to you. Anyone can sell to somebody one time. Anyone can do that. How a business flourishes and goes on to be mega $1 million businesses or even mega $1,000 businesses is because they have people coming back to them. If you want your clientele to come back to you, you have to do right by them. And you have to give them a solid product. They will come back. I am only here because my clients come back to me. And then they bring their family members. They bring their friends. You've got to do right by people, which is why it's important to know how to interact with people. Make sense? Any questions? Come on, somebody's got some.
You know, actually, I have not a question, but just something I want to bring up.
Go ahead.
Because it's such a good point about when you put things out publicly. You know, sometimes you can have really great product, but crappy photography.
Ooh.
And,
Ooh.
Or you
Yes.
can have really average product and really good photography.
Yes.
Photography is really, when you're
Absolutely.
talking about social media, really good photography is just so important.
There are people, piggyback, that will get into fashion shows. You may be those people or you may have seen those people. Photography is wonderful if it's the right person.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Mediocre, not really hot stuff, and then the snaps will start and they're posting all these phenomenal pictures and then you want to come to them and get something made and it's not as great as it looked in the photos. Now you see why I'm up till 4 o'clock in the morning, so that my photos match my work. You know what I mean? Anybody can be in a fashion show. Fashion Week in Columbus. A lot of people come right out of CCAD, Columbus School of Art and Design, and they go right into fashion shows, and they are not ready. And photography will make it, you know, you've got the ambiance, the stage, you've got the music going, and their stuff will look like $1 million. And then when it comes down to trying to go to sell, people see what they really have, and they don't dig it. So I emphasize, work on your product, be the best you can be.
So the stuff that you do is basically, are you like boutique, or are you do you do couture and like custom?
Yes, custom, couture. I do everything. I don't do a boutique because I don't want you to come in and buy things off of me that I already have made. I actually get with you and we come up with what you need for you. And I don't do the same outfits twice. Now you can get the same style, different fabric. You can get the same fabric, different style. But I never do the same thing because my clients pay me enough to not.
So you don't manufacture like what
No,
he's talking
no,
about?
not at all.
But
not
then
at
you
all.
would buy like 50 yards
Sure.
from this
Well-
to do, not
Right.
necessarily like you would do it as a part of
But
this
there's
jacket.
also, there are parts of the buying process. For example, there's interfacing.
Yes.
There's muslin.
Yes.
There's things that you use, even if you, so I sell some guys that do what you do. They're not buying fabric from me.
No,
They're buying
things that
they're
go
buying,
along with the
they're buying
fabric.
the
Yeah.
garment
Yeah.
construction necessities. So they're maybe buying Bember taffeta, which is a real high-end lining. Somebody says, you know, I'm gonna go through 50 yards of black at some point, so I'll take 50 yards of black, because that's the way to get the best price or something. You know, there's a lot of ways that, there's a lot of careers, as other people have said, in this business. And there's people who do what you do, and there's people who, you know, make things, they're trying to make a more massive amount of things, and everything in between.
So you customize, that's your
Yes.
thing, is
Yes.
custom.
Absolute custom.
Customization.
Absolute customization. That's what I do. Now, he would be phenomenally helpful for when you're trying to go for bulk. You know what I mean? Bulk companies trying to get into stores, things like that. Me, I am going into stores, but I'm going in under colognes and jewelry and things like that. But my customization stuff, we'll see. I'm so dead on one of a kind that it's a, you know, and you got to get to the place where it's time for you to go bulk. I'm just not there yet. Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was waiting.
When you're going for bulk items and bulk fabrics, that's when you're trying to shop.
So whenever you're doing your stuff, you're not necessarily looking for like outside inspiration taken from the client. I come to you, and then you
Absolutely,
work.
I am.
Oh, you still do?
I absolutely am. The majority of my clients come to me with concepts, and I help bring their concepts to life. Now, if I do a prototype for you, it's going to cost you. But when you're talking about just doing an item, you know, a lot of my clients are going to balls or different types of events, red carpet events. They want something that no one has. And they'll bring a concept, or either I'll help them with that concept and help bring it to life. Same thing with I do the work with the Blue Jackets. They're really big on bold print suits. Very snug because they're little muscular guys, so they like their stuff to fit. And those kind of things are wonderful to bring a suit to life, a customization mindset that you have for that kind of thing.
So are you actually behind the sewing machine too?
Yes, I sew.
So you don't just
Nobody does anything for me at all. I
You do
do
it all.
everything. Everything.
That's why
And
you're so
literally
far
in one night, an entire dress, an entire suit. I can build an entire outfit in one night. Literally.
Wow.
I'm actually coming here late because I was building an outfit. Literally. Any other questions?
Do you have business cards?
Sure, right here. All right. I'll set them out for you guys. All right, go
Do you
ahead.
have a studio?
Yes, I do. I actually just moved into my own studio. I had a studio in my house, and I just moved it downtown because my wife just got tired of the traffic, and understandably so. So I am now in downtown Columbus. Sorry, go
Are
ahead.
you, I have a question.
Sure.
This is, are you willing to do an internship?
Sure,
Okay.
absolutely, absolutely. Go ahead, John.
Do you handle the business aspects of your business too, or just the tactical part with the sewing and
Both.
design?
I actually handle both.
Hmm.
And that's only because I'm good at both. I would say that if you are not, get somebody, partner with someone, and help you with when I told you to have a face in front if you're not good with people, it's the same thing. Have people in place where you need them. You can't be good at everything. There are things I'm not good at. I know it's like, no, there are things that I'm not good at. I don't mess with those things. I have someone in place. I'm not a legal person. I have a person to handle that kind of stuff. When you're not good at those things, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I mean, I know that you're quite young, however, if you're doing everything, what is like your succession plan or your transition plan? Like when it's time for you to retire, do you want your designs or your spirit to go forward?
Definitely,
So
definitely.
if you're doing everything and you're doing all the business aspects, then how are you preparing for a succession plan?
Well, I'm not retiring for a long time. I've got a long line of things that I've got in place to go run without me. Now, I do things now, but I'm actually forwarding to a place where, and will be within the next 2 years, I won't be doing any of these things.
Okay.
I'll be just a brand that's, handling business all around the world. So I understand exactly what you're saying. Everybody doesn't do everything normally. And understandable, but everybody has to do things for what works for them. This works for me for now. I do have a great plan in place, trust me on that, to where I won't be behind, but I love doing what I do. So the average person wants to forward because they want to get away from doing work. I love what I do. I could easily have 5, 6 people doing what I do for me, but I love it. So I only do it because I love it. I hope that answers your question.
I understand.
All right.
So, hi, or how are you?
Wonderful.
Great.
Mohammed's been to my shop.
That's really nice. So just piggybacking off Ms. Barnes' question about you taking interns, stuff like that, and that you travel a lot, do you see yourself opening Designs by Winborn Studios in other locations, not just in Columbus?
The truth is, I am going to eventually go bulk and try to get all the way into stores. I have great designs that I'm really loving, and it's gonna be time for everyone to actually be able to purchase them if they wish.
Another question. For any of like the future designers that are here, do you see it now best for them to start on an e-commerce way of selling their designs online, or going from boutique to boutique and seeing who will take their designs first?
I'm the wrong person to ask that because I'm kind of biased. I had the worst experience dealing with boutique.
Right.
Oh.
There's a lot of problems that you have dealing with boutiques.
You can't control a lot of what they charge. Some of them cut deals on your items.
And you can't control when they're gonna pay you.
Yes, that's the
That's
truth.
the biggest thing.
That's the truth. And the truth of the matter is, why go to a boutique when you have the options of social media? You don't need a boutique.
So do you recommend people using like that social media to, I mean, I know we all choose people to idolize on, following in their steps. What do you think is the easiest way for somebody to find someone to follow in their footsteps, like take everything step by step? I know it's kind of different depending on what market they're in or in the area.
I'm gonna say this a lot, and it's not from any type of cocky standpoint, I promise you. I don't follow people. I blaze my own trail. If you're too busy following Kim Kardashian and Kanye West, you're not worried about your path. I don't have time to worry about them because I'm trying to build my.
Have you seen his fashion line?
But people are looking for people like that to follow. If you're following them, you're not focusing on your own journey.
Right.
Focus on your journey. Create your own brand, your own thoughts. Go
But
ahead.
on a technical point,
Go ahead.
so not so much your inspiration or designs, but like your business and like how to do what you've done.
Always
where
find
you
a
get
mentor.
that.
Always find a mentor. That's different from, I look up to Kanye West. You don't even have any access to him. Find a mentor, somebody local or somebody you can talk to, like the guys you mentioned that you can call up and get info.
You know what, I tell you, I came up in a family business, and I had my dad and uncle who, if I told you what the things they said to me, you wouldn't believe that I hadn't killed them. But they were really knowledgeable, and they taught me so much. And then, I spent 10 years in New York, learned a lot there too. So, this is one business where you can learn in a lot of different ways, from a lot of different people.
So there's no real set of rules. Like,
No,
we can-
that's what I was saying to you.
Not at all. That's
You know,
what I was trying to say to her. There's no set of rules. Everyone's journey is different. And the success that they come from, there's no set out rules for that. Some people blaze trails that these people never even thought about going to.
Right.
Look at social media. That's a perfect example. Nobody thought about doing stuff like that, but they built it as they went along. So blaze your trail and do what works for you. Everything trying to be set in stone may not work for you like that.
I had customers who, you look at their stuff, it's fantastic. Everything, they do everything right, and you fall right on their face. I have a customer who, I cannot believe how successful she is. She does everything wrong. I don't think her stuff looks that great, but she can sell ice to the Eskimos.
I wish I could tell you it was a A, B, C, D step
Well,
like that. It's not.
I'm actually looking for it to not be that way, and I'm glad you said that, so I don't have to worry about that.
I got you. Now, I will say this, do what works. Don't do what doesn't work. Some people, we're from the arts. I am a musician too, so I've got a double whammy. A lot of people in the arts are very emotional.
Yes, they are.
Very, very emotional. I mean, it takes that to be as creative as we are. Some of the things you can bring to life and that you can imagine come from that emotion. I would only tell you that do what works, and when you see something doesn't, immediately switch. I see people bump their heads all the time, and they won't change because emotionally, it doesn't feel like it'll feel good if they change. You gotta do what works. If it doesn't work, change to something else till you find what works for you.
I'm gonna add one thing.
Sure.
A couple of things. I shared it with Sinead today. We're in a stealing business. That we just are. And so you need to be a word of caution. I want to piggyback on what you said with mentoring. Mentoring you never outgrow that.
Nope.
I have mentors now because they are wiser. They've been through things I've never
Yes.
been through.
Yes.
And I constantly consult. You
Absolutely.
never outgrow a mentor. But
Absolutely.
here's the thing about a mentor. You have to make sure that it's someone you can trust. Trust.
Say it again.
Trust.
One more time.
Because here's the deal, and I was sharing this with Sinead today in class. You're gonna have ideas. That's great. That's how we function. But you have to be so careful with who you share those new ideas with. I've had things stolen because, okay? Or I have said, and I shared an experience with her on an airplane once, and I just wanted to backhand the person I was sitting with, was like, shut up, because I don't know who else is on the plane. And you're just spilling the beans like crazy. And it was on the retail store in 1 year, she said on that plane. So you want to keep a mentor always, always, always. And you just need to be very careful with who you are sharing your fabulous ideas with, because this is a stealing business. Okay, and one of the things I said with Shanae, I do research all the time. I've had research stolen from me. And so my brother and I have things that we are doing together all the time, but you will never see it. And we actually don't even talk about it on the phone. We talk about it face to face. And our idea, our brainstorm board, when you come into my studio, you'll never see it. Because it's hidden way back around the corner behind things. And it's my idea board, and I'm constantly working with it. Constantly working, but you'll never see it.
I was just telling Caressa today, she said, I didn't even know you had a shop. Want to know why? No one knew. I didn't, it's been being worked on for a year.
I knew it
Did I
was
say
me.
anything? Let's say that if you tell somebody you're gonna be here and they can find a way to blow the bridge up for you not to get there, they'll do so.
Right.
As excited as you are about your concepts and your ideas, sometimes, not sometimes, all the time, keep them to yourselves until they're ready to be put in place. All it takes is for the right person to hear it and discourage you, tell you you're wasting your time.
Right.
The reason why you see a little bit of cockiness come from me, I've been told all my life that I was wasting my time doing what I was doing. I was told by an ex-wife that she didn't know why I was even entertaining this idea. And that got into my heart and my spirit for so long. And it wasn't until we parted ways. I never stopped, but when we parted ways, everything came to fruition for me because I kept trucking. But if you can't tell everybody everything, they'll discourage you. I promise you. Or they'll find some way to sabotage you.
Yep.
So the smart thing to do, and that's the business end of things, keep your concepts and your ideas to yourself so that you can bring them forth. Or else be prepared to give it to other people.
For
Because I
free.
promise you, you
For
think
free.
somebody won't take it from you?